So figures, I go to torque down that guy right there to the 7 foot-pound torque spec, and it just is spinning. So that is stripped out. The helicoil from inside there is on this right here. Amazon Prime is a beautiful thing. I stripped this thing out 2 days ago, and then I brought the bolt that goes into the hole that has the broken helicoil to work with my set of digital calipers. Measured that really quickly and ordered it from work super quickly, all like during my lunch break. And now it got here today, the next day. So that's awesome. This should be everything I need, hopefully. To fix this, I need to drill, need a 1/4 inch bit to drill out the hole. And then there's my tap. And then this is the insertion tool. So, yep, let's try to get this thing fixed so I can move ahead with everything else. This is holding me up big time right now. So, yeah, let's grab a 1/4 inch drill bit and drill, make sure that, first of all, make sure the 1/4 inch drill bit doesn't just slide in there smoothly. And then try to get that going. One thing I should do is grab one of those bolts and basically just look at how deep I need to drill that, because of that other hole being so close right there. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to drill too far in there to the point where I'm messing up the other threads. So a few things I need to check before I actually do this. One is that this drill bit isn't going to be too big, and it looks like it is not going to be too big. In fact, it has this big hole right here before the threaded portion, and that part's way bigger. Yeah, so this drill bit is not going to be too big, and it does not go in there already, which is good, which means it will completely clean out that hole. We got that confirmed to be working. Now the next thing we have to do is confirm that I got this right. So I need to make sure that this threads nicely into these guys. Might be a little bit difficult doing this with one hand. This tap tool looks like it was used before. Yeah, I think it was clearly used before. But whatever. Okay, so I got that hole drilled out. And looking at it from this side through this hole, looks like I probably did like the perfect length. I might need to go a tiny bit longer, but I really don't think I do. So I'm just gonna clean up all these shards now, and then I'll try to do like a little test fit. Okay, so just doing another little test fit. I have this cam cover back on, and I have this bolt slid all the way in, and it does slide freely all the way in. So there's definitely plenty of room with that hole being drilled out. In fact, I probably shouldn't have drilled quite as far, because if you measure it out better than that, you can measure out almost the exact distance that you need that hole drilled out. Then you can back the insert into the end of the hole, which wedges it in there and wedges it in place. But it's alright. So I can get started with the tapping, wherever that is. Here it is. And I do not know if this guy is gonna work in this. So we'll see here. Oh yeah, should be plenty good. So a lot of these tap tools are gigantic, and you can't fit them in here. But that one looks like it's gonna fit just fine. So I just gotta tighten this down. So I can go tap this. I think I take back what I say about drilling the hole exactly how deep you want it, because Because you can only insert this helicoil as far as you tapped the hole. Like if I were to try to put this helicoil in right now, I mean it's pretty difficult because I can't really do this by hand. I'll have to just go grab that tool. This tool has one on the end of it already. So if I were to try to stick this in here, it shouldn't be able to fit. It should not be able to fit. There goes my helicoil. I just dropped it. See that? It does not fit in there. Cannot get it in that hole. It's not, can't turn it in, can't do anything to get that in. And that's because you haven't tapped it yet. So it's a little bit too small. The hole's a little bit too small for the helicoil. Let's try to find that one I dropped before I forget about it forever. There we go. I'm actually kind of surprised I found that. So essentially, however deep you thread the hole is how deep the insert can go. So therefore, if you only thread it a little bit and the hole is actually longer than the threaded part, you can back this in, you can put this in the entire threaded part until it backs and wedges itself into the part that it can't go, which is the part of the hole that you haven't threaded yet. Okay, so I want to get that as straight as possible. Put some solid pressure on that from behind and then start turning. Yeah, I'm gonna put my phone down for this. I don't want to mess this up. Okay, so I ended up putting a socket on this and a ratchet because with this tool, it'd be sitting right here and it'd be spinning and hitting this huge coolant pipe right here. This huge coolant hose. I mean, I found that an 8mm socket fits over this pretty nicely. So you have to be extremely careful if you do it this way. Just really take your time and make sure that this doesn't wobble at all. Doing pretty good so far. I got a few rotations in. So you can see it cutting right now. So I'll probably just go a couple more, then back it out. Vacuum some out, and then just keep repeating. Okay, so the issue I've been having here is that my sockets are just turning. They're not actually grabbing on the tap tool anymore. See? They're just basically like stripping over it. Doesn't matter whether I try metric or standard sizes, I'm not getting any socket to bite on there good enough. So, well enough to turn that tap in any further. And I do need to go a fair amount further. I think I'm gonna have to just remove this coolant hose, just bite the bullet and do it, because this is starting to waste my time trying to figure it out this way. Taking out the last bolt to this huge coolant hose right now. Man, that thing doesn't want to let go. Whew. That seal really gets in there. Let's see how much room I'm gonna need. Yeah, I'm gonna need this whole thing completely out of the way. Yeah, I might be able to just barely spin it if I hold this down with one hand, then spin it with the other hand. Yeah, it looks like I only need to go just a little bit further, but so far so good. It's looking pretty good to me. Okay, I reached the farthest that I can get this tap tool in because the arm on this is now hitting this cam lobe that drives the fuel pump. You know what, a little trick that I could use actually is that, see right now, if this were to be hitting the cam lobe, I could just slide this off and then do it this way. And now I can have this whole like 90-degree turn that I can do. Like that. And then I could take it off again and keep readjusting it. But I think I'm at the end of the hole. Kind of feels like I'm at the end of the hole, so actually I'm gonna back this out. I would be able to do that. I would be able to just turn it, take it off, put it there again, turn it 90 degrees, take it off again. But looks like that's not really necessary because, well, to get it back off, it kind of is. So I accidentally threaded, I accidentally tapped pretty much that entire hole. So, I mean, I can see from looking through that other hole that I tapped pretty much the whole thing. So that really wasn't what I wanted to do, because now the helicoil, if I back it all the way up into the back of the hole, it's gonna sit like about right there, which isn't really ideal, because then like only half of this bolt that I put in here is gonna be on threads. So what I'm gonna do, now that the hole's all clean and ready to go, I'm gonna put some red thread locker on here so that it kind of buries itself in there, and then I'll insert this and hopefully it stays in place, because I want this kind of like flush with the front of the hole instead of being all the way backed up into the hole where the bolt's barely going to be grabbing onto it. So while you can't really see it very much, I did put some red thread locker in there. I think it's just kind of like down on the tool, but yeah, it's definitely on there. So I got my tool, it grabs onto the prong. So let's try to get this guy in here. I was hoping to be able to just get that in by hand. I think I'm gonna have to put the tool on it, the little arm thing. And this one is super small. I'm gonna have to like spin this thing all the way down. Pretty much as small as it'll go. Hopefully that's small enough. Almost flush, still has a little bit more to go. It's getting close. It's making some weird noises. Yeah, the helicoil isn't quite in that first thread, which kind of bothers me. But it's not going in any further. See if this bolt will go in here. Oh my god. I'm just gonna keep this on the screwdriver so I don't drop that again. Okay, seems to be okay with it. Right there is as far as it'll go because of the little prong thing at the end. Still gotta punch it off. Like I said, I just wish that the helicoil was all the way in on that first thread. It's not quite all the way in, but it's not gonna go in any further. You know what, there's no harm in trying. I'm gonna try to get in just a tiny bit further. Let's get this tool back in here. Yeah, let's see if we can get this to turn any further. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this little punch thing right here. It's actually it's like a file, but it's really sturdy. So I'm gonna stick that right on the prong and give it a little whack with this mallet. Should be able to knock that off. Yeah, I got that off, no problem with the first hit. It was already bent back a little bit from what I was doing before, but I was still able to get it with one hit, so I just gotta try to extract that. Maybe the vacuum will get it. Give that a shot first, just because it's easy. Okay, I'm pretty sure I heard it come out. So that vacuum actually, I believe, worked. Yeah, it looks like it worked. Awesome. I'm a little bit scared to strip another bolt out, or strip another helicoil. So I'm gonna take it easy on these bolts for this coolant line, and I'm just gonna do 10 newton meters. Well, I was able to kind of put that blue stuff back on a little bit in that one spot where it came off. I'm just gonna run with it. I'm gonna see what happens. I should be fine. I mean, if I end up having to remove this and replace that gasket, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. It takes like, I don't know, realistically maybe like 40 minutes to like take it off and then reinstall it. So I'm just gonna see if I can get away with reusing it for now. And if I have an oil leak later, then I fix it. This is unbelievable. Another one of these just stripped. This one, all of them were fine. The 7 foot-pounds, even the brand new one that I just did with the helicoil was fine. And this bottom one is not fine at all. So now I have to take this back off, drill another hole, do another helicoil, and get a new gasket, because this gasket was now just torqued along all of those bolts that will ruin that sealant. So now I need a new gasket. So I assume it's gonna be the same deal as before. Yep, that thing is shredded to pieces. The helicoil is absolute toast. Okay, this better be the last time this thing's coming off. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. And I might just use it because I'm so over this thing. Grab the repair kit, pull all of this back out, and I'm gonna try to do this as quickly as I can. So I'm trying to think of this in a positive light. And the positive is that if there was one hole for this to happen to, I'd probably prefer it to be this one, because it's down at the bottom, so all the shards are just gonna fall right down. Whereas the top ones, I'd have to like clean out behind the valve cover, so I'd probably want to clean it, take the valve cover off again. And it's on the side, and it's a complete hole through, so I don't have to worry about how far I'm drilling. I'll just drill all the way through. Like the whole front half of that helicoil is gone. It's only that back half that remains. Bam, I got a hole. Got a nice smooth hole. Looking good. Hole's somewhat clean. Time to grab that tap. Let's see if I'm gonna have issues with this thing again. Yep, looks like I am. I'm gonna hit that hose right there, like immediately. I mean, I can get that one out of the way. Nope, no I can't. I could pull it off, but I'm still gonna hit that anyway. So I'm gonna have to just do that little trick, basically like rotate it here to here, and then maybe pull this off and spin it to here. I don't know, something like that. Well, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna see what we can do here. Getting this hole started, this little tiny bit at a time, might be like impossible. So actually, I'm gonna stick that socket on it again, because the socket works for the first little bit, but then as soon as there's like a lot of force needed, that's when it starts slipping in there. Dude, I'm gonna reuse that, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna work. This car is gonna last 200,000 miles at 500 horsepower. Let's get this puppy started here. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to do this with one hand. Okay, I got that started pretty good in there. It's pretty solid in there. So I'm gonna remove that and get this guy on there and carefully proceed. And yeah, this cam adjuster is gonna get in the way, so this is gonna get interesting. Okay, well this is working, just going basically like a quarter of a turn at a time until I hit that. Just take it back off. But I can only go a little bit further before I hit this cam adjuster. I'm not gonna be able to turn this in anymore. It's getting pretty damn close. Let's take this guy out and take a look. Cool. Well, it's looking good. I do not know if it's threaded far enough. Let's just grab an insert and see what happens. I have my insert here. I have it spun onto this tool. Okay, well I think it's all the way in. Yeah, this one looks good. Okay, the tool's coming out now. Little prong on the end broke right off. from inserting it, like using the insertion tool, which is kind of funny. Just grab the cam cover. I think I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna try torquing it and see what happens. So let's just see if this thing can handle 7 foot-pounds. It's kind of funny because 7 foot-pounds is like a joke. But let's see if it can handle it. It can handle it. Ladies and gentlemen, it can handle 7 foot-pounds. Gotta try to torque all these down without another one stripping, because if another one strips, I'm just going to bed. It's 1:30 in the morning. Already been working on this for a while, and I'm starving. Praise be to Jesus. Got all 7 of them. Got all 7. All of them torqued the 7 foot-pounds successfully. Whew. Okay, so let's get this vacuum pump on and the fuel pump on.